So in the previous video, actually we designed our home page, and then we are in simple we design this structures, and then we will move to the classes section. So today we will going to design these class pages, and here you can see if you go to the class sections, and here so you can see we will have this type of card. Then anyone can just hover. When hover, then there will be a select options. If you or to add to cart, then you have to click this select. So let me just do this. So if you select this one, you can see the status code, maybe it's already selected, so that's why the warning. So let me try to do this. So look, it's just a toaster is here, and it said selected successfully. So this item is selected. You can also view any of this item. For example, let me go to view this item. So if you click this view, then you can see a details page about the course is here available. We'll design all of these sections in today's video actually. So we'll start from this page. Actually we will have a simple header, and then we will have a card of products. So let's move to, and right now we can see on our today's task, here is the empty page, and we have already set up. So let me close all of this stuff, and here this is backend, and here is our front end. Let me close. So in this front end, you can see this is src folder, and inside this src folder, here all the pages, you can see all the pages. Here we will have pages, and then you can see a class.jsx. We will open these pages, and at the beginning what you have to do, you have to define a user state hook here. So let me define a user state hook. So that would be, so let me define user state. So it's a react hook, then it will be empty object. So as you can see here, if you want to see, sorry, if you want to see classes, then you can see all of these classes. Actually this is the not the url, maybe our url will be localhost 5000 classes. You can see all the classes is here. So we will just grab this class from the api and show it on this page. Okay, so that's why we are defining it's the array. As if you check here, you can see it's a array, so that's why we define a empty array here. Then here we will have two things. First one will be classes, and then second one will be set classes. Okay, so next what we will do, we will define a use effect hook. We will have a use effect hook, and this will have a empty dependency, and then here will be a anonymous function. So anonymous function is the function where we don't define the function name, and it's a anonymous arrow functions. So here we will call execute space. We have already a hook, so that is execute space. You can see we have a instance that is the base url, and based on this we will just use that here. So for this we can just call it execute fetch. So let me define it here, const, that would be execute fetch, and that would be use execute space import. So use execute space, let me import it and call it. Okay, so right now we can just define execute dot get method, and we want to get from the server. So it would be get method, and then where we will hit, we will have to define a path. So the path will be the whole path, actually the whole path. So let me copy it here, but as we define the base url here, look, this is the base url, so that's why we don't need the whole thing. We can simply define these portions. Actually we will have only slash something, so we can just keep it that. So we will have something like this slash classes, and then we can just define a then block, and here we'll get response, and we'll convert it to we will just set it to set classes, then that would be we'll get this res dot data. Okay, so if you want to catch the error, then you can just define dot catch, and that will just define an error. So here we can simply console log the error. Okay, so right now if you just console log the classes, then let me see if it's getting. So here is the page, let me inspect it and console log, let me refresh. Then you can see we're getting 5 items. So this is our 5 classes. So if you have 5 classes, you can show it on UI. I'm sorry, I have a fever, and but I have to record videos for you because you have lots of comments, you have lots of requests when we publish the next part. So that's why, though I am a little bit ill, but I have to record it. So sorry for that, and please consider this unwanted catch of fever. So let me go there. So next, what we will have to do, so let's design the card. So here it's a div. In this div, let me design a div at first. Then here we'll have a JSON, and we will define that would be classes. And let me add some classes, a class name here. So the class name will be, by default text will be for Excel. So for Excel, then we'll have font bold, then we'll have text center, and finally we'll have text dark primary, text dark. Okay, just define text maybe primary. So something like this, let me check it. It's not still actually showing. We will have to add some classes. So here we can add some classes. So that would be margin top will be 20 and pt will be 3 or something. Let me check. Yeah, it's now visible. So here is the visible thing. We can just change the color a little bit. Instead of this, we can just define text secondary or something like this. So right now it's visible. So we'll have to design this type of card. Okay, so for this actually we need to define a user state the beginning. So what we will do actually, we'll define const, we'll have hovered card, and that would be set hovered card. Here is will be capitalized, and then we'll have user state, and inside it we will define its null. By default it's null value, we don't have any value here. Okay, then we'll define a function. Here we can just or here we can just simply define a function. Let me define const handle hover. So that would be it will receive index number, and then there would be arrow functions. We can just define set hover card, and we'll pass this index. Okay, fine. Then after this div actually we will have to write a div. So we'll take a div. Inside this div we will have actually classes dot map, and here what we will do, we will receive two things. First one will be class, so cls in short, and then we will receive index. Then we'll have a arrow sign, then we will have a parenthesis, and then we'll take a div. So let me take a div, and inside this div we will have another div. So we can just add here we can just add here. That would be let me define class name and let me define relative, and we'll define a height, so that would be 48 or something like this. Okay, so inside this div actually we'll have another div, and this div will be actually self closing. It's actually a self closing div, so let me define this type of thing. After this div we will have a img tag, and on this img we can simply define cls dot, and let me check the images, so that would be images. Okay, so let's check if it's showing on here. So you can see it's actually showing, though the design is not perfect, but it's actually showing. So if it's showing, we can just add some classes here. So let me define class name. We can just define object covered, then w will be full, then age will be full. So it's actually making the image responsive. You can see this type of thing. Okay, so then we'll have this div, and here we'll define class name, and we'll type this class name as a dynamic class name, so that's why we'll have curly braces and caret sign, and inside these actually we'll make it absolute. Then we'll have a inset will be 0, then we'll have busy black, then opacity will be 0 by default, then we'll have transition on opacity, so transition on opacity, then we will define a duration, so that would be 300. Here we will dynamically check Herbert card equal index, so then we will add the opacity, so opacity will be 60%, and finally we will have a string. Okay, so it will work something like this. It's still actually we cannot see actually this is, but look, when you hover then you can see a black or something like this. Okay, so we'll have this blurred option, that's why this is the thing. Okay, so next actually let me target this div, and here we'll have to define a key props, so let me define key props, that would be index number, and then here we'll define some class name, so that would be class name, and we can just define dynamic classes here, so that would be something like this, relative, then we will have hover, and that would be minus translate y-axis to y actually here, and then we will have duration 150 on hover will be ring 2 pixel, that would be by default hard coded 2 pixel, then we will have hover ring secondary, then we will have w, that would be 64, then we will have a height, so that would be 350 pixel, and finally we'll have mx auto, and then we will have to check conditionally, so that would be classes, so cls in short, and then we'll check available seats, so let me check available seats, then here we will make it if it's less than 1, Then we will add conditionally a dynamic conditionally, that would be busy red. We will add a background red color of 300, and otherwise we can just define busy white. Okay, and then we can have others classes that would be on dark mode. We will have busy slate 600. Then we will have rounded lg. Then we will have shadow of lg. Overflow will be hidden, and cursor will be pointer. Okay, something like this. Let me check. So here is the effect. You can see here is the effect. When you hover, this type of effect is applying. Though actually, let me just add some classes here so that it will be on actually grid layout. So here we will have a class name. We will add my, that would be 16. Then we will have w will be 90%. Then we will have mx auto. Then we'll have grid. Then we'll have on sm devices, grid calls true. On empty device grid calls 3, and on lg devices grid call force. Okay, and finally we'll have a gap of 6, or maybe 8 is okay. And finally, okay, everything is fine. Let me check it. So here is the thing. Okay, let me refresh it. Here on these, actually after this class name, after this div, here we have to call the mouse hover effect. So one mouse enter, so we'll call actually the hover card, so that would be handle hover. So we'll call this actually this handle hover from here, and we'll pass the index. Okay, and also we'll add on mouse leave. So that would be obviously another thing. So let me define. Oh, why actually it's not showing? Let me type it manually. On mouse leave. This is actually not working. Why? Let me try again. On mouse. Okay, this is the one, and here will be the same thing. We'll call handle hover, and we'll pass actually null. Okay, that is the thing. So you can see now the effect is working after adding the handle hover effect. So that would be offering, and now we have to present the text. So for this, actually after this image, you can see this is the image. So we'll just define transition. So we will have to import transition from headless UI. So let me check. So that would be a headless UI. So we'll go there, and you will explore this component. We have installed it, but here what we will actually uh, just got it, we will just go to these transactions feature. So we'll have to import it first. Then let me check. We will import by this way. Let me copy it. and we can just paste it at the top. So if you paste it at the top, then you can see here the way is we will have to define this way. We will have the same thing. You can just simply copy it from here. Let me copy it from here, and after this image actually we will paste it. So let me do it. Let me format this code. And at the beginning, did we need any customizations? Here we can add a duration of 300. Then we'll have 300. Then leave from, okay, everything is fine. And inside it actually will let me check it actually how it's going. So unexpected is showing is not defined. We'll have to import it. Okay, we will have to just define it something like this. We'll have to call Harvard card equal index or something like this. Okay, I think now this will work. Let me refresh it. Okay, so you can see by default it's gone, but when you hover you can see this is the thing. This is the text actually that is inside here. Instead of this actually we'll have this card by default. Look here, by default there is nothing, but when you hover you can see this is a select button. We'll define add to cart button actually. So let me define a div here. So in this div we'll have a button, and let me define add to cart. Okay, so this is add to cart button. We'll have to style a little bit, and then here what we will do, we'll define px will be 4, py will be 2. Then we'll have text white. Then we will have disabled, and we will define disabled color will be pg red 300. Okay, and we will have busy secondary. Then we will have duration 300 rounded, and finally we will have a hover color. On hover busy will be red 700. Okay, that's it the thing. Let me check. So this is the button. When you hover it will be red. Now we'll have to move to this button position to the center. So that's why we'll target this div. So this div will have position, so that would be class name. So it's not actually children, it will be class name. That would be absolute position. Then we'll have inside 0. Then we'll have flex. Then item center. Justify will be center. Okay, let me check it. Now you can see it's on the center position. I think you understand how I add this button actually. Okay, so if you have this, then this section is done for now. And then after this actually div, after this div we'll have another div. So it's actually for details, so we can add a comments here, details. Let me add a div, and inside this div we can add some classes. So that would be class name px will be 6 and py will be 2. Okay, so then we'll have a h3, and we'll define the product name here. So let me define cls dot name. So that would be product name. Let me check. Here is, you can see this is the product name. Then hot there we'll have a instructor name after them. So after this we can add some class name conditionally. So here we can add, let me define class name and here we'll add conditional, so that would be caret sign. And here at the beginning we'll check cls dot name dot length, and that would be greater than 25. We'll have conditionally add text color, so the text color will be, sorry, we can just define text size, so that would be 14 pixel. Otherwise here we'll have text 16 pixel. Then we will have font bold. Okay, let me check here. Actually this is the thing. Okay, or actually we don't need this. Actually we can just remove this, it's actually extra thing. We can simply keep it. Font bold. Okay, so something like this, or you can just define it semi bold. The design is up to you. Actually I have no recommendations actually here, so that would be something like this. Then we'll have structure name and available seats price. Okay, so after these actually we will have a paragraph tag, and that would be tractor name tractor. So here we'll have a dollar sign. Here we will have a curly braces actually, and we will have cls dot, let me check, the instructor name is this thing, so let me paste it here. So this is instructor name. We will have to add some classes here, so let me add class name. That would be text gray 500. Then we will have text size, that would be xs. Okay, something like this. We can add a margin here, so mb1, maybe it's okay. Okay, fine. After then we will have available seats and the prices, so that's why here we'll have take a deep, and in this div we will have a span tag. So the span tag will be available seat avail avail seats, so that would be cls dot available seats. After then we'll have another span tag, I'm sorry, another span tag, and that would be price. And we don't need to define it's the price. Actually we can just simply define it's dollar, and here that would be cls dot price. So let me check it. So here available seats and price, we have to need must gap here, so let me add some styling here. We'll have class name, so the class name will be text gray 600. Then we will have text extra small, and here we'll have class name, and that would be text green 500. And we'll have font semi bold. So let me check it here, something like this. We need to add some classes here, so we want to move it side by side, so that's why it will be flex. Then it will have item center, then we'll have justify between, and finally we'll have margin top, so that would be 4. Okay, let me check, it's something like this. And then lastly we will have a view button. So after this we will have a button, so let me close this div. After then we'll actually define a link component. So from react router DOM, is this imported, we'll have to import link. to here we'll have a path. So this path will be actually slash. You can see if you want to get a single class, you will have to go to slash and then class name. So for example, this class name. So here is the path. We will just simply copy it here. We will have a slash, and instead of this hard-coded id we will have dollar sign, and that would be cls dot underscore id. You can see here actually there is an underscore id, so that's why we will define underscore id here, and we will define that would be view. Okay, we can keep it inside a button, so that would be a button, and keep it here. We can add some class name, so the class name will be px4 py2, then margin top will be 4 and w will be full, then mx will be auto and text white, then we'll have disabled on disable actually, sorry, on disable we'll have busy red 300, then by default that would be busy secondary, and duration will be 300, and that would be rounded. Hover effect will be busy red 700, something like this. Okay, let me check it. This link is not defined, actually it's not importing perfectly. Let me try to, it's actually not importing. Let me import manually. So here we'll have to import something from react router DOM. So react router DOM, and here we'll define link. Okay, so right now if you refresh, then you can see this is button, this is add to cart button. Here is actually an issues, so these issues is from here. Actually we defined a height here, so where is we defined height, so it's a hard-coded height. If we remove this height, let me check it. Okay, it's perfect. Right now you can see the issues has gone. If you add a specific height, then it will be, let me define here, we can just define that would be 60 pixels. So let me check it. Okay, it will be, we can just remove it, but we can just define margin bottom to this. Actually we can just define my4. Okay, or let me define its margin top, and we can define margin bottom. So okay, fine, I think this time it's okay. Okay, or you can just do a little thing. So if you want to do, let me check it. Here is image. Okay, keep it that for now. You can just design these sections, but right now we need to define interactivity. So when someone select, for example, if anyone want to select this on, then we will have look already selected. So this item is already selected. If try to add this on, let me try to do it. So it's already a request is failed here. Let me try to this, already enrolled. So lots of items are enrolled, so that's why actually it's also enrolled. We'll have to do this type of alert when the one item is enrolled, then he cannot be able to enroll, but if not, then he can add this. So that's why we will have to make this type of stuff. So let's do that for now. So for this actually we will have to define some user state hook. we will only define, only select only logged user who are in login with your accounts, then he can actually able to do that sort of stuff. So that's why we will actually need to define some use state hooks. So let me close all of this, and here we can see we have hooks here. So if you have hooks here, what you have to do, you have to define other hook. So at the beginning we'll have a secure securing hook, so that would be use exuse exios secure hook secure.jsx. Here you can also check the exuse documentations. There I already said how we can just define the exuse instance. You have to create this instance again. So let me define rfc again. We can just remove these on, and here at the beginning we will have to define login logout feature. So that's why actually let's do implements the login functionality first. Actually we will do setup Firebase. So here let's define firebase.google.com. You can simply search it. At the beginning we will have to set up a Firebase file so that we can check it. So actually we're doing it because we need who is actually login in our in these websites, but that's why we need a login and logout functionality. So that's why we're doing Firebase. So here we will have to define a project name. So that would be yoga master, maybe it's demo. Okay, we'll just continue. Then we don't need actually analytics, so that's why I off it and then hit this create. So at this meantime let me define a folder. So for this config file, so here we will define config. So in this config file actually we will have Firebase code. Okay, it's done. Let me go here. This file is opened, and then what we will do here, you can see a icons of the web. Click here, then you will have to provide a name of this app. Click here, so that would be yoga master, then that would be demo, and then register it. Wait a minute. Then you can see at the beginning we'll have to install Firebase. I have already set up Firebase on here. Actually if you check, you can see here is actually Firebase setup. You don't need to set up again. Then you need this code. Actually this code is the Firebase configuration, so that's why we'll create a config file here in this folder. Actually in this config folder we'll create a config file, so that would be firebase dot init .js. You can just define this type of name. You can just define any name here. It's not mandatory. Actually you have to do the specific one. You can just type any of this name. Okay, so I'm just defining firebase.init.js, and here we can simply paste this code, copy this and paste it here, and at the end we can simply export this file. Okay, so actually you can see if you just keep it this actually this way, anyone can access this. So that's why we will have to secure it. So for this actually we will define env variable. So byte, if you search byte environment variables, then you can just define here. So this is byte environment variable. You have to define a .env local file, and then you can just access by this way actually. So let's do that, or you can just simply keep it for now. uh, but let me show it here actually, uh, at the root folder of this. So you can just click here, and then we'll have to click dot, this will create this type of folder. So dot env dot local, I'm just showing how you can just do it. Dot env dot local, create a file, so that would be dot env dot local. And here at the beginning, when you create a variable, so you will have to define this way actually. Sorry, where is this? At the beginning point, we will have a byte word and then underscore. We'll have to do this way, byte underscore. Then you can just define, as it's a API key, let me keep it here, as it's a API key, you can just define this is API key. Then we'll have this way, we'll have to define value this way actually. So simply you can copy this stuff from here and keep it here. So this way the first one is done. If this first one is done, how you can just use it, you have to use this way, import meta.env and then variable name. Okay, so you can simply, instead of this hard coded thing, you can simply define import and .env. We will have to replace this thing based on this on actually. We will have to, you can just capitalize it by control P, then, oh sorry, here we will have to define market, then control shift P, and you can see transform uppercase. So this is uppercase now, and you can simply paste it here. So if you just do it, it will work actually. And I will recommend you can just do it all of this. So let me define another one for this so that you can understand properly. And here we will define again byte underscore, then a API domain, and then we'll copy inside these actually this string, paste it here. Then we will do the same thing. Let me transform it. So that's why control shift P and transform the first one. We will copy this on, and here instead of this we will have import dot meta dot env dot this actually. So if you want to console log this, let me check it to, so that you can understand it. Here we can actually console log clg and paste it here. So let me check it if we are getting it in console. So actually it's not showing, but it should show. Let me eat from other places. So maybe can we just try to check it from home page. I'm just testing for it actually. Let me do it from here, from home. Okay, when you are on home, you can see here is an string. So this is actually the same thing that is defined actually here. So that is defined is actually here. You can see kuy. So it's actually kuy. Here's some console log from actually popular class teaser. So we can just remove the console log. So let me check where is the console log. Popular classes, here is a console log. Maybe it's on the card. Okay, this is the console log. Let me clear it. So right now refresh it. Here's a key props is missing from here. So actually let me fix it. It's actually from popular teasers.jsx 27th number line, popular teasers. So popular teasers 7th number of line. So we can just also close it, and then actually here maybe a key props is missing. No structure of here we'll have to define a key props, so that would be I for now. And if you refresh now, then you can see all error has gone and we can only get that string. The string is int of kqy, so that is exactly the same thing that is here. So you can do setup environment variable by this way. You will have to define a variable on this file and then you have to replace it. Okay, so if you want to do it, let me show it again. It will be a project id, so you have to copy it and then you have to define byte underscore, then paste it here and then copy this stuff, paste it here, and this time we will confirm, we will just make it transform to uppercase and it will copy it. We can replace it this way. That would be import.meta.env. Here we will pass this. Okay, this way you can just simply replace it. Okay, let me do it. If you are new, then it will be a little bit difficult for you, so that's why here we'll have this value. Okay, then for the fourth one, actually that would be byte underscore, then we will have this, paste it here, and finally we will have app id, so that would be byte underscore app id and the id will be this id. Copy it, paste it. Now let me transform it, so Ctrl Shift P, uppercase, so it's copy, and here this would be bucket, so that would be import env, paste it here, then we will have to transform this on Ctrl Shift P, uppercase, copy this on, replace this, import env byte, and here paste it, and finally the last one, Ctrl Shift P, press enter, copy this, and again replace this string. Okay, so that would be import meta env, and here replace it. We'll have to in this. Okay, so everything is fine, and if you have everything is fine, then it's done. Next, what you have to define, you have to define uh a auth provider. So we have defined this, but look, what you have to do, you have to, where is Firebase, actually you can just continue console, and for implementing authentication system you will just read these documentations, and then here you will have, look, we'll have to go to authentication. So this is authentications from here, and you can see we will just do it on web, so that's why this web. And if you just get this get started button, you can see you will have to add this way. You will have to implement authentication by this way. You will have a sign up new users functionality. We will have to do this. We'll have check existing users functionality by this way. So we'll have a auth provider, then we will define sign in with email and password, so this way actually. So for now we'll write some functionality for this, so that's why on src we'll close this src for now, and then we'll create a folder here. So the folder will be utilities, this folder, and inside this utilities folder we'll have a provider folder, providers, and inside this providers, sorry, it will be a folder. Let me delete it again. And so where is actually utilities, this utilities will have a folder, so that would be providers, and these providers will have a auth provider, so wut is auth provider dot jsx rfce react functional components, and we'll pass filtering from here, so that would be children, says ILTRN children. And if you pass children, then what you have to do, you have to return something from here. So at the beginning we will return auth context. So auth context, so it's actually not suggesting. Let me import auth context. So here we'll define const auth context, and we'll call create context. Okay, now you will get this auth context from here, and this will be auth context dot provider, and it will be something like this. And inside this we'll have children. We'll pass these children, and here we'll have a what value. We'll have to provide a value, so that would be a value that will, we can just define it const context value. So that would be a empty objects, and we'll pass this here. Actually we'll have a value, and this value will be auth context value. So if you pass any code yeah, context value here, it's actually go inside here, and it will do check here. So if you have defined this, you will have to go to the main.js, and here you will have to define auth providers. So what we will do, we will go back to the this file, and here we will have to define auth provider. So we'll define const auth provider. So that would be, we'll keep it, and we'll move this whole thing inside here actually. Okay, so everything is fine right now. So let me format this code. Okay, so if everything is fine, where we will go, we will go to again back to this auth provider.jsx, and here we'll have to define the functionality implement. So at here you can see we'll define a user state. So that would be const here, that would be user, and that would be set user, and we'll define user state by default null value. So for now we can just pass our user here. So from any components, for example, if you want to get on this class page, so here you can see, refresh it, so everything is fine. You will go to class, and you want to get the users there. So how you can just do it, you can simply call users this way. Actually let me just show you where is actually class. Let me close all of this stuff, go to classes, this is class.jsx, and for example you want the users here, so that's why here you can just do it const, and you can see here actually we define curly braces, so that's why here is the curly braces, and we'll call use context hook, and we'll call auth provider. Okay, and we can just destructure user. So let me console log clg user. So if you define user here, let me check the canon destructure properties users. Okay, so let me check. Hmm, why is the issues actually? User is here, user. Okay, we'll have to export it right now. Let me import properly, and yeah, maybe we can just refresh this. It's actually, let me get it. We haven't initialized our app here actually. So let me check where is the issues actually we define. Okay, let me define it as a what, and we can just console log this what. Refresh it. Okay, so now you can see this is undefined, so what is not defined. But here if you check user, then let me check, here is actually error why actually user is not defined. Mm, okay, here actually the mistake is we will have to remove it. Actually inside here we will define auth context. It will be auth context. And if you do this, now we can just refresh it. You can see here is actually null. And if you have, you can simply do this destructuring here, so that would be users. So user is, now we can see user is null. And if you just define a name here, so for example here you define, that would be Mamun. And then if you just check, refresh, is there defined, so console log user. Now you can see this is Mamun. And you can add a comment, so that, let me define it. So the current user, so that will be Mamun. Okay, so let me check it, refresh this, and then you can see the current user Mamun. So here is the perfect one. You can just close this console log from here. So I hope you can, I can just show you how you can just this use context actually would provides, and would context work. You have to define some value and functionality here, and we'll pass that inside here. So that is the thing, we can just define it null again. So let me define null by default. So after this actually what we will do, we'll define a loader, so that would be, we'll check if loading is happening on our website, so that would be loader. And then it will be set loader here actually. And it will be same use state, and here by default would be true. Okay, then finally we'll have a error, so that would be set error, and we'll define that would be empty string for now. Okay, finally we will have to define const what. You can see if you check, for example, you can see at the beginning you will need a what, so that would be get what. So let me copy it and this is from actually look, this is existing users, and it's actually you have to get started here. And then if you scroll a little bit, you can see at first you will have to initialize the projects that we did in this config file. Actually we initialize and export this app. After then we can just access this by get auth, and then we will just simply app. So that is the thing, you can see everywhere you need this. So that's why at the beginning you will have to initialize here. Actually you can just simply define const auth get auth, and you will have to import the app. So I just imported the app from the init file, you can see it here. Okay, so now we'll implement the sign up functionality. So that's why here you can see sign up as a new user. So this is the functionality we need to implement. Okay, so let's do that first. So after this actually we can add comment sign up user or sign up new user. Okay, so we'll define const sign up, and it would be a arrow functions at the beginning, and then we'll define it's a async function. So it will actually look sign up actually receive three things actually: what, email and password. But as what is defined, we are actually defined email and password. It will receive email and passwords as a parameter, so that's why here we'll pass email and password. Then it will actually have a try catch block, and if any error happens then we'll define set error, and we'll define error dot code. Okay, or you can just catch this error dot message if you want. Okay, and in this try block what you will do, you will define set loader, and by default it will be keep true. After this loading done, we will return a await. So as we define await, and we'll look here, the method is actually will have create users with email and password. We can simply get it and paste it, we'll have to import it. So that's why let me import it. It's actually not manually importing. Let me try to type it so that it can create user. Users is actually not importing. Let me import this way. Actually we'll have this way, we'll have this way actually. So right now maybe it will work. Create user with email and password. So this is the one, and here we'll pass the three things. You can see this is actually receiving auth email passwords. So auth email passwords. Okay, so if you do this then it's done, and you can also throw an error. So from here throw error. Okay, so if you have this you can simply pass it from here so that you can get access in a child. So we'll pass it here. After this actually we'll have login user. So define const login functionality. So we'll define the same thing here. By default we will have a function. Inside this function it will be async function, and inside here we will have a try catch block. In this catch block we will have a same thing, so keep it here. And on the loading on the try block, at first we will have a loading. So set loader, that would be true. After then we'll have, let me check it from the documentation. So look, existing sign in existing user. So that is the thing, we will sign in with email password, and it's actually receiving email and password. So this function will receive email and passwords. Then we'll just copy this whole thing and let me return it. So return await then past it we'll have to import this. So let me import it. So you can see it's now imported. Okay, so login functionality is done. We can just pass it from here. So login is also done. Then after this login, actually we'll have logout functionality. So log out users. So here we'll have log out. That would be obviously async function. It will just do something like this, and then this is the thing. Okay, so it will have try catch as usual. If catch happened, we will just do this. And finally here what we will have to do, we will return it. And return, let me check it how. You can just log out. So if you scroll a little bit, where is actually sign out? Mm, sign out functionality is there manage users. You can just check the manage users. Then if you scroll a little bit, wait, okay, this is delayed. Where is logout actually? This is actually you. Okay, we will have, let me search it, sign out, something like this. Let me check it there. Authentication Firebase. Let me go there. Password, next step. Okay, this is actually the method. It will receive these actually. Copy this and then return these actually. As we define async, we will define, yeah, wait here. Okay, that is the sign out. So we'll define sign out also here. Now what if users update a profile or update display name or stuff? So that's why, for example, we will have a update users profile. So this is actually here. If you just check this manage users tab, then actually if you scroll a little bit, then you can see get users profile, then look update a user's profile. This is the thing we will have to do this way actually. Okay, so let's do it. So we'll have to define const update user. So it will be async arrow function. Then we'll have a try catch. We'll set this error actually here. Then we'll have a await. Then look, we'll have to call update profile. So let me call update profile. Let me import it. And did we import sign out? So let me import. Okay, and inside here actually we'll pass this way. We'll have to pass auth dot current users. So let me define auth dot current users. Then we will have a parenthesis. You can see this is actually a parenthesis, and then we'll have these two values actually. We'll have a display and photo URL. So we'll have display and photo URL. It's hard coded thing, so we don't actually do hard coded. We'll actually do it dynamically. So that's why here we'll have to pass display name. So we'll define display name will be this, or you can simply define its name. And here we'll define photo or something. So name will be assigned to the display name and photo will be assigned to the photo URL. So that would be photo. Okay, that's done. And then finally, after this, we'll define set user. We'll have set user. So that is actually look here. So we'll have a auth dot current users. Auth dot current users. Something like this. Okay, so this updated functionality is done. If updated functionality is done, then you can simply paste it here. After this, actually we'll have Google sign in login functionality. So that's why google google login. Okay, using Google login. Okay, so for Google login, actually we need to define const Google login. So that would be obviously same async function. Look, I actually not memorizing everything. I can just explore documentation. So for Google login authentication, so actually you can see this is authentication system. So Google, and you can see here how at the beginning you will have to import a provider. So that would be Google auth provider. So at the top of it, we can just define const, and we'll define Google provider or something like this, and that would be we'll have to import it. Let me import it. So it's not importing. So if not importing, you can manually do this at the top. Firebase auth. So here we can just simply define Google auth provider. So that is the thing. So it's imported right now. So if imported, then inside here we'll have, again, look here, actually it's the process. All providers, then we will have this OA. Sign up with pop-up, we will have to implement these functionalities. So that's why inside here we'll have a try catch. On this catch block, we can simply set this to set error and throw error, and inside here actually we will have to define await. Then we will have to define sign up with pop-up, and we'll have to define the auth and Google providers. Okay, copy this and paste it here. So let me import it. Then instead of provider, it will be Google provider, and simply we can just return it. So that would be return it. So but before that, we can just define set loader will be true. Okay, that's it, the thing. Google login functionality is created. And at the beginning, we'll have to handle logout. So that would be, we will have manage users. Then if you a little bit below, you can find unsubscribers or something like this. Let me check. Update passwords, delete. Okay, so that would be actually auth on auth state change. So is there, let me check. Okay, if you cannot find, you will search on what state changed. Okay, so this is the thing. Let me check the results. Manage users. Okay, this is the one of the state sense. We will define this right now. So you can see get current sign into user. So that is the thing. So we will implement this inside a function. So that would be here. We can add define of serve her for users. So that is something like this. Here we'll define use effect hook, and as you know it will have a empty dependency and a function here. So that would be a arrow function. We'll have a arrow curly braces, and inside here we'll define a unsubscribe. So you can see at the beginning you will have to define on auth statements which will receive a auth and a users. Then we will do something like this. So that's why we'll define on, we'll actually define a variable unsubscribe. So that would be auth. We can just, let me copy it. We'll have auth, let me input it. Then it will have users. So here you can see it's actually users. Then it will be a arrow functions. So after these users we'll have a arrow functions, and we'll have curly braces. Then you can see here actually it's check if users is there, it will just do something, else it will have other systems. So at the beginning we will have to define set users equal, we'll have to pass the user. After then we'll check if else conditions. So that's why if user have, then we will do something, otherwise we will have a else block, we will just do other system. So in this if block we will just call exuse, let me import exuse. Then we will just post it to a route. So we will actually look when actually new users sign in, we'll have to generate a token. So here if you just check your server code, let me close it, and if you check here we'll have index.js, and then look how we generate a token. So when someone when a user is login to the or sign in as a new users, then we'll actually generate a token. So the token generation process is where is actually API token. So that is the thing, they will hit this API. So that's why here on this provider we'll have to define a path. So that would be API token, and at the beginning we'll have to define the full path. So here will be localhost 5000. So something like this, it will be localhost 5000 slash API slash set token. And then here we will pass the email will be user dot email, and if you want to provide name, then you can just do this user dot display name. And finally we don't actually pass any sensitive information here because it's actually decodable, so that's why we don't pass there. Then you can see here we'll have to define where is actually, we'll have a then block, we'll have a dot then, and we'll receive data. So we'll have a arrow, then we'll check another if data dot token, then we'll have set it to local storage. So we'll set this as a local storage dot set item, and we'll name it the same way, token data dot token. So this way, and when it's done we will define set loader false. So when the user setup is done, and we'll define that would be set loader false. Okay, so this is the done. Or otherwise in this else block we can just remove the token, so that's why local storage dot remove items, and from here we'll just define this token, and after this we'll define set loader false. Okay, so that is actually done. After then you can simply unsubscribe it, so that's why here from here we'll actually return, and you will just simply return, and that would be something like allow function, and we'll call this unsubscribe functions. Okay, so that is the thing. Everything is fine. We'll have exported everything. User sign in. Users will have to provide the values. We will have to provide error, then we'll have to define set errors. We can provide Google, already defined Google login. Okay, okay, if anything record, then we can just export that. I think this is fine. Specifically this folder is done. If this folder is done, we can just easily create our hooks for now. Okay, so it's actually a little bit hard to understand, but to it what I am doing, you have to specifically follow this way actually. So try, if you cannot do it on time, you can just try 2 or 3 or 4 times. When I'm just learning, I did a single things 5 times. So that's why right now I am just a little bit comfortable. Okay, so if this is done, let me close that stuff, and we are actually writing our exit secure. But for now, before that, let me create another hook. So that would be actually use auth hook. So that would be use auth.jsx. Here rfc, and we don't need to implement reacts. And at the end, what we can just do, we can just remove all this stuff, and here at the beginning we will define const what, and that would be, we will call as we defined it on context, so that's why we'll define use context hook, and inside it we will pass what context. So it's actually not suggesting, so let me just open auth provider so that it can just get suggested auth context. So it's actually, you can see auth context is provided inside here. So if you return, so then you can just simply return this auth. So if you return auth, then you can simply get the auth. So this is the done. Right now we will write this execute secure, and here actually we will apply this. Here actually it's very similar to this. At the beginning we will have to create a execute instance. So let me do it. Here we can just simply remove this for now. At the beginning we will check const, we'll check use context, and we'll import auth context, auth context, and we'll check if it's logout. So where is actually logout? This is logout. We'll implement logout here. So if logout happens, then here we'll define const navigate. So that would be, we'll import use navigate. So it's actually not providing. Let me import it this way actually. Let me import use navigate from import something from React router DOM. So sometimes it's actually not importing based on some issues, but maybe if you understand how you can just do it, you can just do it here by default, use navigate. Okay, so we'll call this from here, call it. So that's done. So at first we will have this, then we'll have to create a instance by this way. we can simply copy this and paste it here. Instead of this instance name, we can simply define Axios Axios secure, and that would be Axios secure. And here we will have the base URL. So let me remove this. So the base URL will be the URL of this. Actually, if you go to the root, then you will find this URL. We'll have to paste it inside here. So that would be our base URL. We don't need slash here, we can simply keep it. So after this, actually you can see we'll have to do, we can just close these on, these on for now. And here, okay, keep that. And here you can see we'll have to define inceptors. So let's go there. Look, we will create a use effect hook, and inside this we will define inceptors and other system. So use effect hook, let me import it. Then it will have a empty dependency, and here we'll have a arrow functions, curly braces. Look here, actually in the previous exuse use exuse phase, this folder is the same thing. We will have a use effect hook, we will have the same stuffs here, then same stuffs here, and simply return it. We did already here, but actually we'll add a little bit different. So that's why let me show it from it. At the beginning you will have to define a request inceptor. So we'll add a comments. Let me define here, we'll add a comments. So add a request inceptor. So that's why const request inceptors, and that would be simply, we'll call this execute secure dot inceptors dot request dot users. Okay, something like this. Then here we'll have a config. Here we'll have a arrow functions, something like this. You can see this is config, and we'll return this config. Return this config, but before returning it, we here will check the token. If look there, when we are just using here, when we have this, actually you can see we'll generating a token here. When hit this URL, we are generating a token here. So we'll check if this token available before it. So that's why we will have token, and we'll check it from localhost. So local stress dot get item methods, and here we'll define the same name that we did here. So it's actually this token. If you mistake, if you did any mistake here, you cannot get properly. So that would be token. If token, you get token. So that's a condition. If token is available, then we will actually set it to the headers. So that's why we'll define config dot headers. So let me try to define it. So this is actually this way, config dot headers dot authorizations, and here we'll have a bearer tokens, and this is the process. Actually we'll have config dot headers dot authorizations equal a caret sign, and the token will be with barrier and a space, and finally we can return this config. So this is actually request inceptors. So after this we'll have a response inceptors. So that will be same thing, it will be response inceptors. Let me add a comments here, and let me define const response inceptors. The I will be capitalized, and here we'll have same thing, execute secure dot Let me copy it. Inceptors response users, and then it will just receive a response something like this, and here after response you will return the response. So return the response, and then if any issues happened we can simply do it a little bit simple. Okay, let me just do it a little bit simply. We can just define response here. After that we can add a comma. Okay, here's okay, let me go back. Here it will receive a response, and then we will have a arrow. We'll define the response, then we'll have a comma, and then we'll define async functions, and that would be simply we will just get an error. Then we will have a function if error, actually if error dot response, and then if error dot response dot status equal 401, otherwise response 403, then it will actually log out. So await import. So here we define logout, so we'll call logout and call it. After then we will have navigate to the login page, and finally we'll throw is throw error, and after this actually we can also throw error something like this. And finally we can simply return this way. Here you can see we have to return these two things, so we'll just define a return block, and it will return a functions that would be arrow functions. We'll define execute dot secure dot inceptors. So here you can see execute, sorry, here is actually where is eject. So this way actually eject, execute request eject, execute secure inceptors dot request dot eject, and here we'll pass request these request inceptors. After then we'll have same execute request response ejector, that would be response ejectors, and on this actually on this we'll define logout, navigate dependency, and finally execute secure dependency, and finally what we'll have, look, this is use effect hook, and at the end after this actually we'll have to execute. So that is done. Actually execute is done. And then we'll have, okay, so let's move to this. Actually let's move to the unused thing. So we are here. Actually let me refresh if where is actually error. Google auth provider is not defined, so let me fix it. Here we define Google auth provider. Let me refresh. So here another error, so that is on state change is not a function. So let me check on state change. Here is on state change. What mistake is there? So I think everything is fine. So that would be a use effect hook. Okay, so here is the mistake. Actually it would be on auth state change. So here will be what dot. Okay, so that is the thing. Let me check is there any error happens. Okay, so everything is fine. So okay, so here the current users is null and the bad request. So that would be from where actually is it? Okay, it's actually Firebase. So Firebase error. Let me check the Firebase again. Oh, okay, go back to the click here and then project settings. And if you scroll a little bit, then maybe the here's a error. I just let me copy it again and keep it on. Where is the config file? Here is the config file. So let me keep it and export it. Okay, the Google APIs identity key. So there was not the actual error. Configuration is not found. So why actually configuration is not found? Is there app is there? Let me import app again. Okay, sorry. Let me save it. Export. Here we'll have app. Why it's actually not initializing? Let me import app from dot slash providers. So that would be dot slash config slash init. So here is not actually importing the request modules. Not okay. We can simply define it export default. Why actually it's not working? Let me try to import. why app is not imported. Import here from that would be dot dot slash config slash firebase, and here we'll have auth, and let me define. Okay, so refresh it. Here actually a bad request happened just from get project config, and cat would be everything is fine, but okay, it's from class 30 number lines. Okay, let me check it. So where is classes? Okay, here is an issues. Let me remove this. Refresh. So close it for now. So maybe we can remove here. Let me remove that one also. Okay, so what we can do it to fix it, maybe here this is done, but we can just click this actually overview. Then we'll have to click authentications, and then we'll have to get started authentications. Here we'll define email providers, save it. Then we'll have to add another provider, that would be Google providers, and here we will just define your email and finally save it. Okay, so I think right now it's fine. Let me check, refresh it. So you can see this is now done when I just define actually sign in methods. So that's the error was actually for sign in methods. Okay, so if you have, then okay, let's complete this classes. Actually we can just close all of these other stuff, and we can only keep classes components. And here actually, so on this classes components, what we will have to do, look, only sign in user can just click this actually. If you check here actually, a add to cart button, only when someone click here actually it will show a toast. Only sign in users can just hit this button. Okay, so that's why at the beginning here, at the beginning what you will have to do, we'll want to get the current user. So that's why we'll have current users, that we defined current users hook. So here for this actually we'll define another hook, so that would be use user, use user dot jsx rafce, we don't need to define this, and we will remove this block for now. We'll define users from the, so users from the use auth. So if it's not suggesting, open this use auth, then try to get use auth, import it. You can see we're getting users from here. Then we will call const exeos secure, then it will be use exeos secure, and here we have nothing. After then we'll have to define React tangster query, so that's why we'll go React trunk stack query. So we'll go there. So this is the website, so we'll go there, and here we'll just read this documentation. So hit this button, then if you scroll a little bit, so you can just do this, you can just define a function, so that would be receive some data and use query. We will use this, actually this method will have this block actually. So let's do that. At the beginning we will have to define const, here curly braces, then we will simply define equal, here we'll define use query. So this is the method, we'll have use query. Let me import it. So if it's not importing, we can import it manually this way actually. Let me import all of this stuff at the beginning. We can remove this, only keep this on and format this. So we will have use query, and it will be this, and we'll have a curly braces. You can see inside this curly braces we'll have a query key. So let me define a query key, and that would be, this query key will be user, and this user's value will be user dot email. Okay, and we can check it optional chaining by this way. After this we'll have a function, something like this, we'll have a function. Okay, we can just copy these functions and paste it here. So this function will be, it will be async functions. So it will be async functions, and here instead of these, actually instead of this way, we will face this way. Actually we will have const, and we'll define response, and here we'll have await, then we'll have execute secure. So why actually the errors, let me just go a little bit back. Okay, let me define it manually. So that would be query key, so query function, and here it will be actually async function, then it will be this way arrow, and here will be curly braces. We'll define const res, so it will be response, and we will call await, then we will call execute secure. Then what we will do, we will define get method, then we will go to the specific route. So that would be here you can see, if you try to go to slash user, then actually Let me check. It's from backends actually. This is index.js. Here actually users, and we want to get it by users who will hit this route. So that would be, we can just copy it and paste it here. But here we'll define dynamically. So that would be curly braces and it will be dynamic. So that's why template is string. And here we'll have user, then we'll have email. Okay, something like this. So that is done. After this actually we will get return. So the return will be res.data. And after these functions actually will define enabled. So that would be when users email and not local storage get items here will be broken. Okay, so these two times it will actually doing this, and finally we will have return, and return we will return current users. So here we can just define data. The data will be name as a current user, and then we will have is loading and refetch. Okay, so we'll return current users, then we'll pass is loading, and then pass refresh. Okay, so if you have now, you can just import it from here actually. So that's why on the class page actually we will define const and we'll call use user, import this hook, and then we will define here will be current users. Okay, then we'll on to define another one, so that would be role, and here current users, then we'll check role. Okay, so we'll just define this actually here. So let me check it. When app hit this route actually, let me check. So we'll have two users, and you can see email and a role value. So here we actually getting role. You can see this is actually getting role, current users dot role. Okay, so if you have, then we can just define another user state. So that would be enrolled classes, and that would be set enrolled classes. Here it would be user state, then we will have by default empty. So something like this. And after these actually we'll have already defined classes, then we'll have execute phase. Here we can just define const execute secure, so it would be use execute secure, we'll call it. And after then actually after this actually we need to define the select. So when you click actually it's selecting. So for this actually if you check, let me define, here is execute is not defined, so let me define why is actually execute not defined. Let me check it. Use execute secure hooks. Okay, so here actually it's not. Okay, so right now refresh it. Okay, everything is fine. When someone hit this add to cart button actually, then we will just do handle select. So that's why here on these classes we'll define a handle add to cart. Okay, so we'll define const handle select, and it will based on id, and it will do something like this. Simply let me console log the id first, and if you just define it, put a button. So where is the button? Let me go. This button is maybe, so this is actually in this transaction field we will have a button. We can simply call a one click, and we will have to define anonymous functions, and we'll define handle select, and inside here we'll pass cls dot underscore id. And so let me check it. Let me inspect console. Let me clear all the stuff. If someone hit this add to cart, you can see a id is getting. If another one is clicked, the different id is there. If another is there, the different id is there. Okay, so it's getting. I'm sorry for that. I have a cough and fever, but I have to still recording video for you. uh I have actually nothing to say. We were waiting for the video. So here we are just defining it a little bit. So we'll add title and we'll define role. Actually the role will be admin role, or will be role equal, then that would be instructor. So let me check. Here is instructor. We'll have something like this. Then what we will do, we will define instructor slash admin cannot be able to select. Only users can say hit this. Then we'll check. Here we'll have cls dot available seats is greater than 1. Then we'll have no seat available, and finally we'll have you can select classes. Okay, and here after this actually when only you let me refresh it. Only a users can select, but admin or the instructors can't able to select. So that's why actually only users can select, and we'll make this button disable. So that's why we'll implement a disable functionality. After this we can just do it this way. We'll have a disabled, and the role will be when the role equal admin admin, or the role equal instructor. So that will be, and int cls dot available seats greater than 1. Okay, only then actually, only here we define the button will be disabled when the admin and the instructor will trying to reach there, and only when the class is available than 1, then it will be selectable. So that's it, everything is fine, there is no error still. Okay, so if you select, you can see a button is there. Okay, so let's move there. We'll have to define add to cart, so that's why here at the beginning, so this is the handle, select, we can just comment it. After then we'll call the execute secure, so we'll call execute secure, and for this we'll have get method. We'll check if enrolled classes slash current users slash email. So here the thing is, we'll go to enrolled classes. So in a structure update classes, where is the enroll, payments, popular classes. Okay, that is the route. We will check these actually enrolled classes clone email. Okay, so that is the thing. We'll copy it, and right now what we'll do, we'll define it here. We don't need to define this email by this way, we'll define it dynamically. So that's why here, look at the top here, we'll define current users, and in current users we'll have email. So that's why we'll define email, and we can check it optional checking here. Okay, and then we'll have to define dot then, and we'll get response, and that would be, we'll define set enrolled classes, and we'll define res dot data, and then we'll have a catch. The catch will be an error, so we can just console log the error. Okay, so let me check it, refresh, if select, look, here is an error. Actually it says request failed to status code here. Actually the users is not logged in, so that's why the error actually. So it cannot get, look here, no routes match to the actually login route. If you have login routes, when the users is not available, it will redirect to the login, and you can see the not found, and the response is not found, and you can see. So if you have a login route something like this, then it will redirect it. When you don't have login, then you must have to login, look here. So if you click this, then you can see it's redirected to login. That would define it's actually here on this execute secure. If you check here, you can see when any errors happen, response is not coming, or a status code 400 or 403, it is actually redirect to the login page. So that's why it's actually redirecting to the login page. Okay, let's back. After then, so everything is still working. After then, what we'll have to do, we'll check if then not current user, then simply we can just do return. We'll import toast. So if you want to implement, you have to go to React toast, so that would be React toast. So it's actually React toastify, and then if you check this npm packages, then already installed, you can see. Let me check the home page. So where is actually demo? So this is actually the demo. You can see You can just set it to any positions. Is there any examples? Let me check it. Uses positioning. Okay, it's actually no example is given. Okay, here you can see this is the examples. So when you eat, you would like to show this type of thing. You can also add this type of promising pending. You can see actually we're using this here. So when you select, let me refresh it. Wait. Okay, so if you select, you can see a status code is doing this way. Actually, if you check, it's actually doing this way. You can also do promise this way actually. Okay, you can see this is the promise we are using here. So how you can use it, you have to do it installations we have already installed. You have to import this way. You have to do this at the top. So let me define it. We can remove that, so that is unused. So here is not needed, but return, on this return block actually will define toast dot. So if you check the documentation, you can see it's very simple on promising toast, positioning toast. Let me introduce here actually. To close, handle promising toast dot look toast dot. If you want to show promise and if you want to show error, then you will have error dot toast dot error. Actually this is the thing. You can just define toast dot error, toast dot error, and here you will define a block here. So that would be all ready selected. Okay, if not current users, you can just show that stuff. So it's actually redirecting as we don't have users defined, so that's why redirecting. But if you do this, by doing this actually it will show already enrolled, so already selected or enrolled, it will show this. Or you can just change it. It will be please log in. Okay, let me check. Here is the thing, it's redirecting. Okay, let me create a login page for now so that we can just go that. For this actually here we'll have routes and we can just define a login page. So path will be slash login, and this time we'll have a elements, so the elements will be a login components. So login, let me define a simple path on this route right now, but we will modify that later. Login.jsx rfce. Okay, let me check. Oh, we'll have to import it, so let me import it. So when you click, you can see it's redirecting to the login page. Okay, click again, it's login page. Okay, so everything is perfectly working. So if not current users, So you will define please login first, then we'll have execute secure, again get method. So here we'll just define the cart item. So where is actually index.js file? This is index.js file. We'll have to go to carts. So where is actually carts? Let me go to the carts route. Payments info, delete cart email, cart id. So cart id, email, okay, something like this. Okay, we can just do this way. We'll have to copy this, and then here we'll have to define caret sign, and here also caret sign. We'll pass it dynamically, then it will be dollar sign curly braces, and here will be the id that we received here. After then we can just pass query parameters. So the query parameters is something like this. Here we'll have email, and then we'll define dollar sign current email. Okay, then we'll have a then block, we'll have race, and then we'll have to check if race dot data dot class id, class underscore id. So that would be equal to this above id. Then we'll check, we'll return post dot error. So already we can just simply define already selected, already selected, else if we'll have a condition. The condition will be enrolled class dot find method, and we'll check every time an item, then we'll have arrow, we'll check if the items is already enrolled or not. Item dot classes dot underscore id equal the id. Then here we'll define return returned toast dot error, and here will be something like this. Here we'll define that would be already enrolled. Okay, and finally we have a else block. Here we'll actually define const data equal, we'll have class id will be id, then we'll have user mail will be current users dot mail, and finally we'll have a date. So that would be new date, we'll call it. And then after then we'll define toast dot promise, and inside here we'll define execute secure dot post method. Then we'll have to post, we'll have to hit this add to cart. So we'll define add to cart, sorry, we'll have to define add to cart. After then we will pass the data that is defined here actually, and then we'll have a then block. We'll have a response, so we can simply define clg res dot data. Then after this, then we'll have a comma, we'll have painting. So let me check how it's actually defining here. It's actually defining these actually. You will have this, we'll have painting. That means here we will define selecting then on success. Here we will just define render. Okay, this is the something like this. We'll have this actually render data, actually this one. You can just copy this on and just you will have to pass data here and return. That would be selected successfully. And on error we can also return this, so that's why here we can just return this render. Can simply return it, and instead of this actually we can just define error, and we can just show that would be data dot message. Okay, so everything is fine. So this is actually working, but due to have logout, don't have logout functionality, so that's why not working. So this time what we will do, we will implement logout. When you just click here, you can see it's actually redirecting to logout, so that's why we will move to the logout functionality. So let's do that. So that's why actually where we did, you can see we'll have, so this is backend. We'll have src, then we'll have pages. Inside these pages we'll have simply login, but as we're doing it here we can just create a folder, so that would be user. Then inside this users we can just implement login .jsx rfca, and this time we'll don't use this login. Actually we can just delete our previous login. And as we did it here, we'll have to fix it on router. So here we'll move this, to this. Actually we'll have login, and let me import login from pages users login. Okay, so let me check here. I still this is login, and let's design the login functionality. For example, let me log out. So log out done. And so when you hit here, or if you look there, so if you try to select this, then you can see so a page. So that is actually we'll design this page for now. So let's do it. This is the page, and here we'll have a div. We can just define class name, and we'll define mx auto. Then we'll have max w screen excel. Then we'll add px will be 4, py will be 16 on sm, px will be 6, and on lg px will be 8, something like this. So let me check it. So here is now login. So after this div, actually we'll have a JSON, and we'll define get started today. Okay, so this is get started today, and that would be a text. So let me add a p. Here we have to add some class name. Let me have class name that would be text to excel, font bold. Then text will be secondary. On sm text will be 3xl. Okay, something like this. Let me check. So this is fine. If you have, you can just simply define text center. So now the text is center. Now we'll have to design this paragraph tag. So here we'll have to define mx auto. Then we'll define margin top 4. Then we'll define max w md. We'll define text center. Finally we'll have text garage 500 or something like this. So this is the thing. After then we'll have this actually inside a div. So let me define. So after this p we'll have a div. Inside this div we'll have a from tag. Okay, we don't need to define actions. We'll have something like this. From here we'll add some class name. Let me define mx auto. Then we'll have max w lg. Then we'll have margin bottom 0. Then we'll have margin top 6. Then rounded lg. Then font will be medium. Okay, actually we don't need to actually font medium here. We can just define padding 4, and shadow will be lg. And then we'll have on a small devices p will be 6, and on lg devices p will be 8. So something like this. Let me check. Here is the thing, and inside this actually we'll have a from. So let me define class name here. Class name will be space y. x is equal 4, and inside here actually at the beginning we'll have a p tag, and that would be similar like this. We'll have a sign in accounts. Here we will have to add class name, that would be text center. Then we will have text rate 400. Then we'll have text lg, and font will be medium. This is the thing. After then we'll have the two thing. So here after this, if any errors happen, we can just console log the error. So for now, what you have to do, let me get the error first. So here, okay, we'll show the error later. Let me complete that. So after this p tag, we will have a div, and inside this div we'll have input field, input field, but let me define label. So this label for will be email, and here inside this label, sorry, actually keep it here, it will be email, and let me add class name, that would be sr only. Okay, after these actually we'll have a div, and we'll define the class name will be relative, and inside here actually we'll have a input field. The input field type will be email. Then we'll have name, so that would be email. Then we'll have placeholder will be enter email, and finally we have class name. The class name will be w full. Then we'll have border, outline none. Then we'll have rounded lg, border gray, 200, padding will be 4, then padding int will be 12, text will be sm, and shadow will be sm. Okay, let's check it. So this is the email field, and then if you have email field, then you have password field, and you can see here actually the icon, email icon. So let's add the icon. So to do this, here we can have a icon. So this icon is specifically, maybe it's a icon, so we can just go to React icon, and here we can just search email icon, something like this. Okay, we have to import this at the top. Then we can simply copy this and take a span tag and paste it here. We'll define class name here, so the classes will be is4, w4, and text gray 400. And on the span here actually we'll define class name, we'll have absolute, we'll have inset y will be 0, then we'll have int will be 0, and then we'll define its grade we'll have place items center, and then we'll have px4. Okay, so let me check it. Here is the icons you can see. So if you have this, you can just copy this for the second one simply. So after this div, actually you can see this is the div, first div, and then you can simply define password. So here we can just simply copy this whole div and paste it here. The label will be password, and we can just define it will be password here. So it will be type. We can just this type we can just make this type dynamic. If show password, will define a use state hook. So const. So actually look here, actually let me show you. When you type something, it will be hidden, but if you click here, you can see that. So that is the functionality. That's why we'll define const show password set show password, and that would be use state hook, and we'll define that would be false by default. Okay, we'll call this here if show password, then we'll check conditionally. So that would be by default text type. Look how easy it is actually, otherwise it will be email. Okay, so sorry, it will be password. Actually it would be passwords. Look how simple it is actually. So if you have by default, if you type, you can see here, but when you have to add a on click, let me define here enter password. We'll have to define a one click on this icon. So here on this span, we can simply define one click, and we will simply and use arrow functions, and we'll define set password. So that would be not show password. Okay, so let me show you. When you click, you can see it's visible and it's not visible. So how you will make this look, here is actually eye icon. So let me check eye icons here. Eye icon. So we can just get this type of eye icon, copy it, and here we can just remove this, and if need styling, we can just copy the style and paste it here. Actually let me check it if it's showing. So it's actually not defined. Let me import. Okay, so here is the thing. When you click, when you type something, look, by default it's hidden. When you click, then it's visible. Okay, that is the done. Lastly, we'll have a button. So then after this div, actually we'll have a button. This button is sign in, and then here we'll define the type will be submit type. Okay, then we'll define this class name. So that by default block w will be full rounded lg. Then we'll have bg secondary colors, then we'll have px will be 5, then py will be 3, and then we'll have text sm, then font will be medium, and then we'll have text will be white. Okay, so let's check. So this is the button, something like this. You can just type your email, then you can just password, enter any passwords. If you want to check, then you can see it here. Then you will have this button. After then you will have these two things. Let me do it here. So after this form, actually we can add a paragraph text, so that would be no account. Then you can just redirect a link from React router DOM. Then you will just define its will be sign up, and here will be two. This two will be slash precis, and we can just define the class name. The class name will be underline. Okay, here we can add some class name, so that would be simply text center, then text sm, text gray 500. Okay, so let's check it. So here is this. If you click, it will redirect to the register page. Okay, and then finally we need this Google buttons. Okay, so for this we'll do it after this. Actually, after this, what you will have to do, we'll create a components. So for actually we can just create a components. You can just create a components on the assets folder. So sorry, components folder. So here on this components folder, you can create a new folder. So that is actually, so cl, and inside here we can just define Google login.jsx rfce react arrow functional components. We can remove that and then simply import it from here. So Google login. Okay, so if you right now check, you can see it's Google login. We'll have to design this, so let me go it here. So at the beginning here in this div, we'll have class name. We'll have to define flex, then we'll have to define item center, justify will be center, then we'll have margin top and bottom will be, sorry, 3. Okay, then inside here actually we'll have a button. We'll define class name, that would be flex items center, outline none. We'll define pg white, then we'll define border, then border gray 300s, and that would be rounded lg, shadow empty, px6, py4, text sm, then will be font medium, and by default text gray 800 on hover. Actually that would be pg gray 200, and focus will be outline null, outline none. Okay, fine. Inside heat actually we'll have a span tag. So here we'll define conti continue with Google. So let me check it. Here is actually continue with Google, but we need a Google icon. So let me define Google. Is it used that type of, so actually this is the something like this. We can just import this at the top, import it at the top, then we can just simply copy it, paste it here. We can add class name. Class name will be a6w6 and mr will be 2. Okay, so let's check. Okay, this is the thing. When you hover, it will be this type of thing. Okay, so if you have, you can simply implement sign in features. So how you can just do it here, look here, here is the thing. We'll define const, and from here we'll just call use auth hooks. So this is hooks, and in this hooks we can just get Google. So let me check it. So we have auth provider. What is actually auth provider? It's actually auth provider. So you can see we export Google login. So we'll just get this at the top. So Google login. So if you just console log this clg Google login, let me check how you get this. Inspect. Now refresh this. Now we can see a function, whole function is here actually. So then what you have to do, you will have to define a handle function. So that would be const handle login. So it will be this type of functions, and if you define this simply, you will have to define on click here, on click, and that would be called the handle login functions. Okay, so simply you can just console log clg login Google login. Okay, let me try. So if you click, you can see Google login. So if you have, then the way is you can just right now comment out it, and after then what you will have, so we'll have to implement this Google login. So call Google login, and here we'll define dot, then we'll have users credentials. So if you want to check it, actually let me go to the documents, and here is the actual thing. Let me remove all of this stuff. From here we'll have authentications, then you will have web, then you will have Google. You can see here we will have to define a results. You will just get a result, then you will have to set this away. Okay, so that's why we'll have users credential, or you will have a result. So let me do it. We'll have user credential, you can just name it anything, and then here we'll define const user equal users credential dot users. Then we'll check if user happen, then we'll do const user temp, sorry, imp. Here we'll actually set name equal, we'll actually making a variable, actually making an object. So the user will have users dot, Okay, let me console log this first, so that currential. So what if, otherwise we will have a cache block. Okay, let me do this. Okay, you can just simply clg error message. Okay, something like this. Okay, let me just check it if it's login properly or not. So here is, let me refresh. There is no error, but if you click here, you can see login functionality is working. It will just choose your account. So maybe I'm just choosing these accounts. You can see it will say allow first time, then you can see a login is successfully made, but we don't redirect it, so that's why it's still here. If you check and refresh this dashboard, then you can see a user is there. So if this users happen, we will create an objects. And right now, if you just try to check this console log users, so try to where we are actually get. Okay, if you want to, let me define current users. Okay, so maybe we'll get that. Refresh it. From where we're getting it, it's actually classes, so let's go there. Can see undefined on the line number 12. Actually, why it's actually not working, let me check it. Okay, actually we're checking it to a specific route, so that's why it's actually not working. But actually, so if you just, let me comment it, if you want to check it from the home page or from the other space, let me just show it from here. So this is home.js, and maybe here we define const use auth, import it, and here we can simply get user. So let me console log clg user. Go home. So use, actually it's actually auth. Refresh it. Can see the home.js is null. Maybe we have, why actually, let me go to the login, then login again. So I think it's working. Let me check. Applications, local storage. Here is actually, it's setting a users. So here is actually the thing. Okay, so we'll check that a little bit later. So let me remove that file right now. So from here we'll define if const clg users. So let me define if users is there. Okay, you can see the users is getting actually. So So if you have, then you can see who will actually do this if users happen. So if user, then we'll create an objects of a new user. So that's why that would be, we'll name it const user imp. You can just define it a new users. So that would be name will be look here. So user dot display name. So if you check here, actually look here, actually this is display name. You can just copy it and maybe you can just paste it here. Then you can simply define email. Email will be user dot email. Photo url will be photo url. Then here we'll set role. Role will be by default user role. Then we'll have photo. Then we'll just do it. Let me check it by this way. It will give you a little bit flexible. After then we will have gender. So that would be gender. The gender will be is not specified. Okay, you can check here, actually token, phone numbers, email, then others stuff. You can just get that from here. So unspecified. After then we'll have address, unspecified phone, unspecified, about unspecified. You can just do this type of stuff if you want. You can let me define this two stuff we actually don't need there. So after this, actually after this block, actually if user dot email and users dot display name, then we'll return exus dot post. We'll call a post methods, and here we'll define new users. So where is actually new users? Let me check the route. Let me search new users. So here is the route. So we'll go to define it. Here is exus will be simply will have something like this. Let me define it here. We'll have the whole thing. We'll have this, and then here we'll pass this user imp. Okay, and finally we'll have a dot then block. Then we will just get something like this. We'll have to define navigate. So let me define const navigate to use navigate, and we'll call it from here, actually, and we'll define it. When login successful, we'll return it to the home, and here we will return a string. So that would be registration successful. Otherwise, if any error happen, so that would be receive and error. So here we will just throw new error. Okay, something like this. Let me check again. So here refresh, sorry, here actually refresh this, and right now try to log in. If you select, then you can see it's redirecting to the home. So it's actually redirecting to the home sections. I think you can understand. And here user tab is created, and here everything is fine. And right now if you just check your database, let me go to MongoDB and try to log in. Here Google, choosing my accounts. Go to browsers collection. You can see here is actually users, and right now if you go a little bit, you can see a new specific users is created. If you just delete it, so let me delete it, and if you just refresh, right now you can see the two users is available. But if you just let me refresh this, and maybe we can just go to classes, and it will redirect it to this here. So let me go here, classes, and if you want to hit this add cart, then it will redirect you to this page. If you hit here, then it will say sign in using Google. Then we will choose the emails. I'm choosing this email, and you can see it's on the home screen. And if you refresh here, right now you can see three users. So it's actually creating a users. Here you can see email. So this is name, it's email, it's the photo URL of this users. Then you can see this is users role, and all the things we defined it here. Actually all the thing we defined it here, we are posted that on. Okay, so I think you can understand this. So if you understand, you can easily implement the login functionality very simply. And so that's why what we will do, we will here we will have to do the same thing. So users login at the first times, here we'll define const location. Then here we'll do use location from react router.com. After then we'll have to define const. Here we'll destructure some things from use auth. So use auth, import it. And what we will actually destructures, we will actually destructures uh something. At first we will destructures login. So let me check where is there is the use state hook. So we'll destructures login here. So destructure login, then we'll destructure error. So let me destructures error, then we'll destructure set error. Then finally we can just destructure also loader. So is will define loader. So let me define, so export this loader from here. So if you not export anything from here, you cannot actually get access. So that's why here we'll define loader. and set loader. Okay, so for this actually, let me also export that set loader. Okay, so everything is fine. So if you do this, then you can see we can again just define const navigate equal use navigate from React router DOMs. Okay, finally we'll define const handle submit, and here we'll receive an events. We'll have arrow curly braces. At the first we'll define set error, that would be empty right now. Then we'll define event dot prevents default, and we'll call this on the on submit. So from the home, sorry, from this here, so here we'll define on submit, and we'll call handle submit. So if you do this simply, here we can simply define const data equal new from data, and we'll call it actually e dot target. Okay, so let me check what we are getting from here. So let me see lg here data. So let me check, go to the login page. So here inspect it. If you type password here, you can see a from data is here, and inside this from data you can see all of this. So from here we can just get a thing from here. So let me check here. We'll define const from data equal, we'll define object dot home entries method, and here we'll pass this data. So after this, now write me, let me console log. So this from entities, so remove everything, click here, then you can see email is here, and actually email, it's getting email, but why actually it's one data? Why actually password is not there? So let me check the second one. So here is the name, that would be password. So maybe right now we'll get it. If you click here, you can see you can receiving email and password from here. So if you have this, you can simply, let me close it, you can just call login, and then you can pass from data dot email and from data dot password. Then you will have a then block, you will have something like this. After login successfully, you can just navigate, and here we'll define location dot state. Then you can just define from, otherwise you can just define dashboard slash dashboard. Okay, then if any catch happens, so it will be error, then we'll just simply define set error. So that would be error dot code and then we will have set loader equal false. Okay, that is the thing. Let me try it, but we cannot still try it because we don't have specifically define any passwords. We'll have to create a register using login password, then we can actually test it. So that for that actually we'll have to design a login page. So everything is fine here. On this actually we can just copy this and can create a register page. And as we define here, we can simply define register page. Okay, so this register page will be inside these users. Let me create register.jsx rfce, and here we'll define, we'll have to import register. Okay,